Today's video is going to be a pretty simple and straightforward one, and it's simply going to be a little quick tutorial on how to load and unload film into your Yashica Mat. If you have one or you're thinking of getting one, this is the process. It's actually because someone in our Discord actually asked if I would do a video on how to unload the camera, so I thought, well, I'm not just going to do a video on unloading, I'll do the whole process, and then anyone wanting to know how to do it or thinking about getting a camera and wanting to know in advance, this will help you out. Or hopefully help you out. I'm not going to blabber on, so let's just jump into it. Oh, just before I get into it, this is an early edition Yashica Mat, by the way, so if you've clicked on this and you have a Yashica Mat 124G, I believe the process is pretty similar, but there'll be a step where you have to line the film up with a little arrow. Yours might be slightly different, but generally pretty much the same idea. So I have a roll of 120 or medium format film right here. It's a roll of Kodak Gold 200. If you have just got yourself a Yashica Mat or your first medium format camera, just make sure you get 120 film and not 35mm. But yeah, first of all, if you look at the bottom of the camera here, you will see this little round dial or knob or whatever you want to call it. On mine at least, there is an arrow to show which way it opens and which way it closes. So just simply turn that and the back of the film camera will pop open, and now you can see the inside of a Yashica Mat film camera. If you've only used 35mm film cameras, you may be wondering why there is an empty film spool already in the camera. Well, 120 film is different in this way. As you shoot the film, the spools obviously rotate, and the film actually moves from one spool to another. You'll understand better what I mean in a second. So first things first, you have to take this spool out and move it to the other slot, as it will then act as the taking spool. Just simply pull out on the little metal knob on the side here, and the spool should pop out. If not, you might need to wiggle it a little bit. And then just simply do the reverse to slot it into the other side. Now to put the film in, first of all, take the little bit of tape off the film. I like to make sure this is all removed in case it affects how the film rolls up on the other spool. Then, just like you did with the other spool, just pull out on the little metal knob and sit the film down in. There is a little spring under where the film is, so if you push down on the film a little bit, you should hear the little knob click into place, and this locks the film in. If for some reason it doesn't, try just wiggling it or rotating the film a little bit and it should snap into place. Then take the end of the film and pull it out until you have enough to reach over to the take-up spool. And just like 35mm, you need to slot the end of the film into the little gap in the take-up spool, just like I'm doing here. Once it's in, just hold your finger on it to keep it in place, and then wind the film advance lever clockwise to start rotating the film onto the take-up spool. Just keep an eye on the film and make sure it's winding nice and tightly around the take-up spool, and that it looks straight and is lining up with these little metal marks on the back of the camera. Sometimes I've noticed that if you pull the film out too much, it maybe doesn't wind tightly or it can be a little off center. If this happens, just take it back out and sort of start again. But most of the time it works pretty perfectly. On my early edition Yashica Mat, there is a little red arrow here on the inside of the camera. Just keep winding the film advance lever until the arrows on the film line up with this little red arrow, and that's how you know to stop winding. You can now close the back of the camera down and log it in place using the little knob at the bottom of the camera. Then all you have to do is wind the film advance lever until it stops, and that's how you know you're ready to take your first shot. Just a little tip on these older Yashica Mats, there is no shutter lock, so I don't wind the camera to the first shot unless I'm actually about to take the photo. This way I don't accidentally waste a shot when it's in the camera bag or when I'm setting up to take a photo. Okay, so unloading these cameras is actually pretty easy. So as you're taking your shots and advancing the film, you will see the little numbers increasing on this little window in the side of the camera here. And when you get to the last shot, you will see a number 12. When you've taken the last shot, you simply then just need to wind the film advance lever until you hear the film flapping around inside the camera. Unlike 35mm, it doesn't wind into a canister, so the little tab at the end just kind of hangs loose and you can hear it when it's fully wound onto the take-up spool. Then you can open the back of the camera and take the film out the exact same way you put it in by simply just pulling out on this little knob on the side. Then you have the fun task of licking the back of the film and sticking it onto itself so it doesn't unwind. Interestingly, on this roll for the first time, I'm not sure where my little sticky piece of paper is. It's not on the edge of the film, so I didn't want to unravel the film to get it because I might ruin some of the photos. So I just put a little bit of framer's tape on it, and I also like to put an elastic band around it just in case it unravels. I also like to use these little film canisters to store the film, so there's absolutely no chance of light getting to it, and I normally leave these in the fridge until I send them off to be developed. And that's pretty much it. It's a pretty straightforward process, and it's always a satisfying process. I love loading film into this thing. There's just something about it, kind of gets me in the zone to take photos, and even unloading as well. Just old mechanical cameras, just so nice and satisfying to use. Hopefully that was helpful to some of you, and if you're maybe thinking of getting one of these cameras but you're a little bit hesitant because of the loading and unloading film process, I'm sure you realise by now it's pretty straightforward, so yeah. Don't think I have much more to add, so if you did find this one helpful, maybe give the video a thumbs up, consider subscribing if you want to see more. We've lots of videos of me out taking pictures with this thing if you want to see what it can do. It takes some pretty amazing photos, really sharp, and 6x6 is just a fun format to use, as well as being a TLR, also very fun to use. But yeah, that's it for this one, so as we always say, take it easy, don't be a stranger.